Can we re-review Revenge of the Sith?
Because
now?
I watched
we
it.
go.
We both watched it last night. You watched it on Thursday.
Yeah.
We've all seen it within the last 3 days.
Yeah, because I actually went into it thinking I was going to have a take, and I actually had a completely different take. So let's go. We're going to do what we always...
Having a completely opposite take after rewatching a movie? That's interesting.
No. I went into it thinking... You'll see. I'm going to get on my soapbox, and then we'll all talk. All right, so we're going to count down 3, 2, 1, and we're all going to say scores out of 10 for Revenge of the Sith. I know you already know your score. So you
Ready?
know your score?
Uh-huh.
All right. Here's our re-review of Revenge of the Sith. Here are our scores out of 10. 3, 2, 1.
10.
9.
6.
Wow.
So I've had it as a 6 on Letterboxd, 3 stars on Letterboxd, going into it. And going into it, everybody was like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. People I really respect, Sammy J, Alex Coleman, who are like more film bros, where I went into it and I was like, I'm going to just love this movie and I'm going to make it an 8 out of 10. And then I had this epiphany to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've been unfairly comparing Revenge of the Sith to Empire Strikes Back and New Hope my whole life. Being like, oh my gosh, it's so much worse than those movies. Because of its flaws and this and that, but it is so much fun, I love it, whatever. That's what I was thinking about in my head. And then I was like, wait. I don't unfairly hold Infinity War to the, or Endgame, to the standard, especially Endgame, to the standard I hold The Dark Knight or Spider-Verse. And they're all superhero movies. So I went into this movie having that take prepared, where I was going to have this whole speech where I was like, I've been wrong and mean about Revenge of the Sith. I've unfairly compared it to these movies when it's Endgame and I'm comparing it to The Dark Knight. That's wrong. It's its own thing and it's amazing for that. And I was so bored. I kind of think it sucks. It doesn't suck, and the highs are really high. But I went into it thinking I was going to compare it to Endgame, and guess what? And Andrew, it doesn't surprise me you love it so much. It's almost exactly like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The highs are really high, but the lows of Revenge of the Sith are some of the lowest in the franchise that I had kind of forgotten about. The opening is great.
So good.
But the opening, from the opening to the Darth Plagueis the Wise scene, which is my favorite scene in all of Star Wars, is so boring. And I had completely forgot about that 20 minutes. It's several of the worst scenes in the entire franchise. The Padme Anakin balcony scene, I'm so in love with you, whatever. The Yoda therapy with Anakin, where he's like, be happy when people die. All the council stuff, him whining, it's unfair. I was blown away by how bad and boring it all was. And I feel like every year, every day, I say New Hope is the best movie of all time. And I have people like you that are like, Revenge of the Sith is peak, it's the greatest movie of all time, and New Hope is boring. New Hope never drags as much as those 20 minutes of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but they also don't have Anakin and Obi-Wan flipping over each other, battling while lava almost kills them. So, you know what I mean?
One major positive takeaway I have from the re-release of Revenge of the Sith is I have been too critical of that fight. Now, it's still stupid that they swing on the vines like Tarzan.
It's absolutely not.
It's peak.
No,
it's absolutely not.
stupid.
I went in because of your complaints about the choreography being too flashy.
Well, what do you think about when they're just swinging them just to swing them?
Yeah, that there's one part where it does that, and the rest of the time I think it makes sense. And people kind of laugh at that part and understand that it's just them understanding each other's moves so much that they're just waiting for an opportunity to do it. And yeah, it's a little stupid. But the rest of the time, I expected to hate the vine thing. But they explain it. They're going over the water, the lava fall, and he's literally swinging so he has momentum to come back and land on something that's safe. It makes perfect sense. It wouldn't have made sense if it was just to try and do the visual. But there was actually an actual motivation for that, for them to survive and keep the fight going. So I totally disagree. And all the other flashy stuff, none of it was flashy just for being flashy, except for that one part.
Some people complain about when they kind of fist fight and kick each other as well too. But that just reminds me of when he's fighting with what's his name, Clovis too, as well, just hands, straight hands. But I enjoy that part as well too. It's kind of they're almost letting out even more anger just without striking a lightsaber.
Yeah.
They're like, I hate you right now. Let me beat the shit out.
And then
of
it
you.
leads to the awesome moment where Obi-Wan gets his and Anakin gets his and catches it. Back to the 20-minute boringness. Yes, that is the most boring part of the movie for sure. And I felt it a little bit, but it's only 20 minutes. It wasn't.
But it's early. It's not
Yeah, but they give you 13 minutes of absolute peak before that.
Yeah, the opening song.
And then they give that, and then they follow it up with Darth Plagueis the Y scene.
Which
so like,
is best scene in the
and like those scenes are somewhat needed. Like showing his fall from the council is unbelievably important.
It is important.
It's not fair. The way Yoda treats him, how he feels alienated, all that's important. The scene with Padme isn't necessarily important, and it is because of all your complaints. I was kind of like watching for these things, like waiting for them to be stupid, and it was very stupid. But at the same time, after he says that, there's like a moment between them where they're laughing at themselves for being stupid for saying that. Like, and it made it a little bit better for me, where he was like, "Oh, that's not what I meant," and she was like, "What did you just say?" And it was just like. And people in the audience kind of laughed with them. So, yes, it's awkward. And if they were trying to be super serious the whole time, I think it would have been a little stupider. But the fact that they had that in there where they were like...
They're kind of smirking with it.
They were kind of smirking and just being stupid playful in love. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, I agree with you. But, like, the fact that it's sandwiched between peak and it's not that long and some of those scenes are very, very needed doesn't make it a 6 out of 10.
If it was something where those scenes had no meaning at all, I would probably understand a little bit more. But it kind of plants the seed. Some people... that I saw on social media were complaining that, or used to complain that, like, Anakin was just stupid the whole time. Like, there's no reason he should have been doing any of this in the first place. And then a lot of people went into it watching it again and were like, actually, there's so many little things that I miss. Like, especially with the council, all those scenes too.
Yeah.
And obviously, Padme, he could have easily avoided it, but, you know, with those visions with Palpatine, you know, trying to conflict him, people were like, oh, I kind of see why. You know, he did all of this stuff and have reasoning for him doing all that stuff too.
I do want to respond to something that you just said, which is the 20 minutes that are boring is not knocking off 4 points. There are plenty of other problems with this movie that knocks it down points. That's probably only responsible for 1 point. One that I'm sure I'm the only person at this table that had a problem with it. This movie did come out in 2005. It was shot in what was the volume at the time, which is just a big room full of green screens. And there are some shots that it's really evident. There are some shots that the movie looks really, really good, namely the opening. The space battle looks fabulous.
Phenomenal.
But, you know, then you get to the Senate, and it's just a room of a billion columns, and Padme and Anakin are talking. By the way, best acting in the whole movie is Anakin finding out that she's pregnant, which I will get to as a major positive of mine.
Interesting.
But it's just, it's so fake. Like, the green screen is right behind them. There are some bad shots in Padme's apartment that the green screen is really, really bad, and pretty much every time they're on a ship on Coruscant, they take a lot of gunship trips, and every single one of those looks pretty bad.
No, that was one thing too, because I'm pretty picky on when it comes to scenes like Captain America recently. That I could pick out all those scenes that look pretty bad. Yeah. But I even remember the scene where is it Yoda and Mace Windu talking on the ship
and
too?
Obi-Wan,
Maybe I'm more looking at their faces, but I'm more of like how's the lighting on their faces when it comes to these type of shots too.
And the lighting in this movie is impeccable.
And especially in
blockbusters just don't look as good as Revenge of the Sith.
Maybe I just didn't see that scene specifically with the background, but when I was looking at their faces, it looked really well lit from where the sun was coming in the background of those shots too.
I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at what's directly behind them. And what is directly behind them is an image that is being projected that is not behind them. And like, you could tell with like the head, one of the worst examples ever that like our community will understand is in Captain America Civil War. It's just Robert Downey Jr. in multiple shots. It's just his head. Like the Iron Man suit is clearly fake and the background is clearly fake. Like it's clearly shot on a green screen.
Kind of like,
and it's just like a floating head. Yeah. It looks worse than any shot in Revenge of the Sith, but it looks like that. Like I don't give a fuck about the lighting. I'm sure you, the film guy, is more into that. And the movie looks really good. I'm going to give you that. But the shots, it's just like, that thing that's behind you is not there. And there are some, like on Mustafar, that I don't feel that way. Where Mustafar looks really good in some spots, but there are some spots like that. Here's another problem. I don't know if either of you noticed this. Not saying the whole movie, but there are at least 3 instances that I noticed, and I'll give you a specific example, where this movie is Madam Web level ADR. Where somebody is saying something and that is not what their lips are saying.
Oh, no, yeah, that is true. There was a few. There was one Obi-Wan said. I can't remember what it was.
Yes,
where like
Obi-Wan has one.
Yeah.
Mace Windu has the worst one in the movie by far, which is when Anakin tells him that Palpatine's the Sith Lord they've been looking for, and he's like, I don't remember what, it's right before if what you told me is true, you will gain my trust. It's right before that line, and he says something like a long sentence, and his mouth is like this. Like it was bad.
I do remember picking out those scenes too and seeing that. I was like, that's a little.
Yeah. my last two things, or my last three things, real quick. Andrew, one of our most viral moments ever on the podcast, is this great moment where he's yelling at us about the choreography, and me and Danny Mata's inconsistencies about choreography in Star Wars. And I will say, I was shitting on the Mustafar fight a lot, and I'm going to take back a lot of what I said. But I do want to say, a lot of the problems you have with The Last Jedi fight, which is the Red Guards fight with Rey and Kylo Ren, are present in the Palpatine, Mace Windu, Agen Kolar, Sassy Tin, Kit Fisto fight. I think a lot of the stuff that you have a problem with in that, now it's because Ian McDermott isn't actually fighting, right? It's somebody, it's a body double, and they CGI'd his face on it, and there's some bad CGI moments in that fight. But some of the choreography that they have, I mean, those guys are just standing there. It stabs one of them, kills the other. Kit Fisto lasts for 2 seconds. That's not... So some of the problems that you have, where it's like somebody kicks a guy and 3 people fall down or whatever, that is present in that Revenge of the Sith fight.
I think there's an argument to that, though.
Yeah, I don't.
Because Palpatine's so powerful.
I've always thought it was stupid that he could just run up and immediately kill 2 Jedi Masters. Okay. I've always thought that was stupid. I've never said otherwise.
Cool.
But I don't think choreography-wise it's the same as the Last Jedi Red Room fight.
Sure. That was something I thought about. And then a major positive for the movie is when they're not saying the horrible George Lucas dialogue, you get actually really great acting moments from some of these actors who I've shit on many times. Hayden Christensen's reaction, always thought this, but especially seeing it on the big screen, his reaction to Padme being pregnant, the range of emotions you see on his face is such good acting.
He goes through 100 emotions.
It's amazing because he's scared and he's frightened, but he's happy and he's mad and he's freaking out and everything. And he hasn't known for 9 months because Revenge of the Sith takes place over the span of 3 days. So it's like it's just so great. It's great acting from Hayden Christensen. I don't like Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. I think he's horribly miscast. I think that almost every line he says sucks. I think it's Samuel L. Jackson's worst role of his career. But
he's got aura.
In
it's a good argument.
The Republic gunship scene where they're talking about Anakin and whether or not he's the chosen. Is he not the chosen one? And he's like, I don't trust him. There's a scene where Yoda says a prophecy misread may have been, and Samuel L. Jackson looks up and gives this nod, this mean condescending nod. It's the best acting he does in any of these movies by far, and it's because he doesn't have to say anything, and it's so Mace Windu what he should be. And then so that's a positive, and then big thing about Revenge of the Sith is the moments in Revenge of the Sith that I think should be the best, that we should look back on as these are the best moments in all of Star Wars. I feel like in Revenge of the Sith are consistently the worst moments. Anakin's turn is so poorly written and acted that it's yes, the show, Clone Wars, improves it, right? But even the moment where he just cuts off his arm, does this, and then, what have I done? I pledge myself to your teachings. It doesn't, and then immediately Palpatine being to cheat death is something that only one person. If I was Anakin, I'd be
like, what the
fuck? I signed up for this because I thought we knew what we were doing.
You lied. You were like, you could teach me this. And then first thing he says is maybe we can figure it out. I'd be like, I just killed Mace Windu.
Yeah, and if you think about, you are my brother Anakin is a great moment. It's so sad and it's well acted. But the sadder moment is Obi-Wan finding out that Anakin is the evil apprentice. And him seeing the security holograms, he just goes, I can't watch anymore. And then he goes to tell Padme, which should be this great moment, and he has to put his hand over his mouth because he's laughing. Ewan McGregor was laughing at the lines. And so that's poorly acted as well. So, the moments that should be the strongest moments of this movie are so poorly written and acted, it takes me out of almost every scene. That the General Grievous fight is extremely fun, and the opening is extremely fun, and the Mustafar fight is extremely fun, but there's so many moments in this movie where I'm like, what the fuck?
They seem so minuscule, too. All I'm hearing is there are so many amazing moments in these movies, but there's a few little nitpicky things that...
I don't think any of the problems I said, except for the ADR and the bad CGI, is a nitpick. I think all of these are massive problems that if it was a movie that you didn't like as much, I think that you would be pointing out. To put it in perspective, Brave New World. Did you like Brave New World, Captain America? Brave
it was all right.
I think that's a better movie than Revenge of the Sith.
That is the craziest take of all time. That is the
it's a more competently made movie. There's less bad shit in it.
No way. Even when you said it, when it comes to the Anakin acting lines too, there are some monotone scenes but even the "What have I done?" I thought that was amazingly acted. Maybe the few lines after are a little monotone, but bro just chopped off a Jedi Master's hand.
Yeah.
You expect him to do a backflip or something and start crying about it? No. He's the way he drops to his knees too. I would say it gets a little weird when he's like, anything, my master. But that's it. But I do like the scene when he goes, "What have I done?" Like that's a good crying, emotional, dropping to his knees. I appreciate that acting there. I think that's good acting.
Except for the hand over the mouth thing, because I don't know if that's true, and you are sometimes hyperbolic.
That is pretty.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, then I will give that to you.
But they get away with it.
I think your whole last point, I think you were cooking.
Which point?
The scenes that could have been better, could have been acted better. Because I remember watching him watch the hologram thing, and I was like, that was a little awkward, and him turning is a little bit awkward and a little bit clunky. Mm-hmm. I don't care as much as you.
Yeah.
But if those scenes could have been better.
Yeah.
Those are pretty heavy
Still
scenes
9 out
as
of
well
10.
too. So I was expecting yours to be lower with the way you were looking at it.
I was like, it's just Star Wars. Like I don't like all these problems could be problems, but it just doesn't matter in this case. I don't know.
So a big positive for Revenge of the Sith, especially somebody like you and somebody like me, where we watch everything in Star Wars, except Skeleton Crew.
True.
This movie is made significantly better by the TV show Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's
Clone Wars improves this movie fantastically with little things like explaining the Outer Rim sieges. Right, you're spreading out all of the Jedi so that they're few and far between from the capital, so they're easy to kill for Order 66.
Yep.
Little thing. Obviously, the biggest improvement from Clone Wars to this movie is the Fives arc on Kamino with Order 66. Because how do you justify that Cody would just kill this guy after they have their fun banter, especially when you have the show where they're clearly so close it just doesn't make sense.
And scenes literally right before. They're like, "Hey, Master,
That's
forget
what
this."
Here's your lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yep. But I can acknowledge every day of the week that Revenge of the Sith is a better movie because of Clone Wars. But I think you also have to acknowledge Clone Wars making the movie worse. And I think Clone Wars makes the movie worse in two very specific ways. We see Padme be a boss bitch in these three movies across all of them, right? But in Clone Wars, you really get arcs with her being this political badass, pushing shit through the Senate. She's always for peace. She's extremely motivated in every single thing. And one of my biggest complaints about Revenge of the Sith is her losing the will to live. And her losing the will to live, whatever the fuck that is made worse by Clone Wars because her character is so, I'm gonna get this done. I'm doing everything in my possible power to be a good person, and just dying because she's sad is not. I don't think it's Natalie Portman's Padme. I know it's not Clone Wars Padme. So that's a big problem I have. I've always had that problem with Revenge of the Sith, but that's a big problem I have post Clone Wars.
I would say for that specifically, maybe just because she's never dealt with such an issue when it comes to Anakin as well too. Like throughout the Clone Wars, they have had their issues as well too, and you see a little bit of it. But I think it's so detrimental to her that, she got choked out by him and is probably feeling all these emotions too at the same time while she's giving birth or whatever too. So I could see that argument that what she had to go through in Revenge of the Sith was a lot worse from all of the pushing and fighting that she had to do politically as well too.
And then the other one is Matt Lanter's Anakin is a completely different character than Anakin is Hayden Christensen. I don't think that that's a crazy take, and I think that that's part of the reason why I don't like his appearance in Ahsoka is because it does feel like Dave Filoni is trying to direct him like Matt Lanter, and I just don't think that works for Hayden Christensen. Like when he's calling her Snips in the World Between Worlds and everything, it just kind of felt off to me. I was very critical about that. Got a lot of pushback for that, as you know. So I do, after seeing Clone Wars pretty recently, even showing Rachel the last 4 episodes, which obviously I adore, but Old Friends Not Forgotten, like seeing him like this and having fun, and come on, Master, there are like 1,000 droids up there tops. That's so not great. Hayden Christensen, even though that's literally like a day ago in Revenge of the Sith time. It does. Those guys, and like, the flirting with the slave lady and everything like that, they're just not the same guy.
That's true.
And so when I'm thinking about, seeing this in 2005, I'd complain about this, but Clone Wars has fixed that. I have the same thing where it's like, well, Clone Wars does make this thing worse in Revenge of the Sith. So, like, as much heavy lifting as you did to make sure that General Grievous and Anakin never meet, so that line works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other things.
Well, then even Obi-Wan too, unless Grievous is just saying it just to be cocky. Like obviously everyone knows that he's trained by Count Dooku. But that's another thing too that I noticed immediately. I was like, they've already met. He knows he's been trained, unless he just wants to show off to his little droid farm right there. He's like, remember guys, I was trained by him.
He's just Aura farming.
There are several lines in this movie that are introductions to characters, but then like from the prequel material, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But that I don't give a fuck about. That's fine.
That's different.
Like, I mean, the banter with Count Dooku doesn't make any sense because they fight countless times in Clone Wars, and it's like, my powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count.
We met
in season 6 a couple weeks ago. What? And it is funny because it's like, don't worry, Chancellor. Sith Lords are our specialty. Yeah. They always kick your ass. Ventress kicks your ass.
That's true.
Maul kicks your ass multiple times in the Clone Wars.
And the fact that he's saying it to him is even more ironic.
Because he loses to him every time.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Well, the one thing that makes me love, I've always said Revenge of the Sith is a 10 out of 10, but the Clone Wars makes it a 12 out of 10 for me. It makes it so much better. But being able to see, obviously, Palpatine, my favorite thing, especially with Siege of Mandalore, like the way I see it is, he purposely kept Maul there because he knew he was going to need someone to be on Mandalore to distract Anakin. He needed Anakin and Obi-Wan to save him. So he keeps Maul on Mandalore, and that's the reason he keeps him there, is to get Ahsoka to be on Mandalore. And it's like he sees the future that well. Well, he has these plans where he knows he needs certain people here. Because, he could have, Anakin and Obi-Wan could have been at Mandalore too. And so he could have already had that plan as well. But the fact that he got captured was able to bring them and then also keep Ahsoka mandatory on Maul too, which is just mind-boggling for his character, for Palpatine's character, the way he sees everything, cool. Which is just, it's so cool to see all throughout Clone Wars. And as you're watching Revenge of the Sith, you're like, so that's what Ahsoka's doing. That's why this happened. I had all my friends watch the last 4 episodes before too, and they even thought the movie was so much better after watching that too.
You have some major positives you want to say? You did give it a 9 out of 10?
No,
it's just a fun ride.
It's just Star Wars, man. It's just...
from beginning to end. And same thing, of course, with the memes. But like that was another thing. A lot of people didn't really laugh or were like as like memeable during the movie too.
Yeah, my theater was pretty receptive. Hello There got a huge applause.
No response.
No response.
Oh, I would have killed myself. I would have been so upset. I was. We didn't get enough for. I thought everyone was going to be quoting, I have brought peace,
I need
justice.
a single person.
No, nobody. Yeah, we were in a respectful theater.
Oh, no, I was so upset. I was like the only one doing it. I was talking to myself. But So, Hello There got a big response, and then him lighting his lightsaber to kill the younglings. Everyone cheered.
Yeah.
That was the biggest...
What?
I have a video,
Our theater didn't do that.
That was the biggest applause the theater got.
That was the only
We were all
applause.
like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
It's hilarious.
We had 2 dudes in front of us turn on their sabers during that scene. That scene, and then the obviously the Mustafar scene, they turn on their sabers, and then people laughed. The only time people laughed was "Do It."
Yeah, do it. That was about.
You
do
heard
it.
like a
Also got a
chuckle.
response. Do it.
No, there were no laughs for any of the jokes or anything, which disappointed me because there's some funny jokes. I think this is where the fun begins. Is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I laugh every single time. And when Hayden said it as he's introducing the movie,
oh yeah,
I was like, oh, that's great. I was the only person.
Really?
And I was in a packed theater.
That's people so cheer. Lame. People cheer for that too because I don't think anyone expected it. They were like, oh,
no, I thought that was great.
Someone yelled, "My go!"
The only thing that got like a big laugh was Ewan.
Oh, yeah.
That got a huge laugh.
He is so cunty for that too.
Yeah,
that's
so funny.
That's one of the scenes that I point out.
Did you see the tweet that was like, I'm really convinced that like this would have resolved a lot easier if Obi-Wan just didn't. Well, wasn't standing there like, I just fucked your wife.
Literally.
There's a line where it's like, what'd she say? He was like, has Obi-Wan been here? And she goes, yeah, he was here this morning. And then, like someone in the crowd went, oh!
yeah.
And then everyone like kind of laughed at that.
It's like, imagine like someone dropping off your girl and you're talking to her and then you see some dude leaning on the car like this the whole time. Like, I would be so pissed.
You brought him
in the
here
way
to
he's
kill
standing there like that at the very end. And she has no idea too. She's all, what the fuck you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
awkward.
But no, I will say, biggest positive, I will say, I don't give a fuck. Right? I don't care at all Sith only deals in absolutes. That's an absolute. If you're not with me, you're my enemy. Awful line, read. Awful line. Right? Like, I don't care. The build up to that fight is perfect.
Yeah.
It is. It's so good. It's so good. From him choking her, him saying, let her go, Anakin. And then they're circling all the lines. It's
so fun.
It's actually wonderful. Like, it's so good. Like, I was like, I've seen this fight countless times. I know all the lines by heart, but I was going like, oh, let's
lock in.
And again, I've complained about so many of these lines because so many of them are stupid. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just so good. It's so well shot. It's not well acted, but it is well acted. It's just the best.
Oh, yeah.
So that is what I will say.
There's one scene, too, that I will give you credit for Hayden. When he says, you will not take her from me. That's a pretty not too good of a line as well, so that I can think of.
But all of his acting when he doesn't speak is fabulous. The scene with him in the Jedi Council chambers,
crying,
where he's looking across. Now I think that's one of the best scenes in the movie. But I have a complaint with that scene. The shots of him looking out the window and crying, great shot. One of the better shots in the movie. They show it twice. It's the same shot, but the second time it's reversed, and it's like. What, you only got one good take out of this? Where you, like, I don't like that shit at all. That bothers me
when
a lot.
When they reuse stuff
Yeah,
for
that's the same shot reused. It bothers me a lot. You could tell, you can't tell in the big theater, but you can tell on Disney Plus and everything because his eyelid opens weirdly. So it's just like, but that's a great scene. Yeah. And the scene with him after he kills all the kids and he's crying and he's killing everybody and you get the yellow eyes because this is the first time he's enjoying it. Yeah. But there's so much stuff, like even in the novelization. Have you read the novelization?
No,
it's wonderful. It's better than the movie. But you get him talking shit to the Trade Federation, to all the separatists as he's killing them.
Oh, really?
So they're like, oh no, whatever. It's not just Newt Gunray. Lord Sidious promised us peace. So somebody was like, Lord Sidious promised us a handsome reward for doing his bidding. He was like, what, you don't think I'm handsome? That's a line in the novelization. Having that
makes
while he's aura farming up the ass with the hood and the yellow eyes, that would have been awesome. So, I'm missing stuff like that.
That definitely matches more of Clone Wars Anakin too, saying that type of line as well too. Yeah, he's very, very serious in this film. I think it might just because he's going through all of those emotions.
Watching your girl die in your dreams will change a man.
And he's a sexy man in that scene too.
See, he's a little more playful in the first 13 minutes. Yeah, he's a little more Clone Warsy.
Yeah, that's true. I love the banter that Obi-Wan and Anakin have too. That's kind of like
he's trying his best.
Yeah, I love that. That is very much Clone Wars Anakin as well too, which I really appreciate. But yeah, their banter with each other is perfect. Great. They are like brothers in this film too as well, which I love about it.
All right, we'll move on to agree or disagree.